All right, folks, this is your 3D nets video. That's going to sound a little different. That is something that we haven't talked about. 3D is three-dimensional. Remember, dimensions are measurements of distance. Okay, so obviously your shape to the left, that's 3D. We're talking about surface area, and we're going to talk about exactly what that means in a second. But think of it like this. We are going from this shape on the left. Some of you call this a cube. That works for me. It's actually called a rectangular prism. We'll talk about more of that as we go. We're taking a 3D figure. What we're doing, we call it a net because what we're doing is think of this as a box, and we're going to unfold that box. Okay? And if we did that, if we unfolded this box, we'd have something that looks like this. So we're taking a three-dimensional figure and we're unfolding it so it's really two-dimensional. Okay, so I want to give you an animation of that so let your head kind of wrap around that a little bit. So let's take a look at what we're doing. So on the left here you see the actual shape, and I can mess with it here, go in different directions or whatever. Ooh, funny colors, look at that, wow. And on the right you can see that shape being unfolded and then folded back up again, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at here. So we're taking the box, we're taking this shape, and in this one, this is a rectangular prism. You can see the word right here, because all the sides are not necessarily equal. They are all rectangles, however. This site, by the way, is on the bottom of your note page. So you can certainly come here and there's different kinds of shapes you can check out and whatnot. And you can see as they're unfolded, they look different than the rectangular one. Okay, so we'll come back to this in a second. Okay, so surface area, highlighted in the blue here. Surface area is the area of each of these parts on the outside. Okay, so we're going to take the area of each one of these. So if you look at these parts, they're all rectangles, right? So surface area just means we're taking the area of the outside piece. So think of it like you're wrapping a Christmas present, birthday present, whatever else. Where the wrapping paper goes on all these are called faces. Where the wrapping paper goes, that is the surface. We're finding the surface area. So we're going to find exactly how much wrapping paper you might need. Okay, so here we go. We're going to figure that out. So we've unwrapped this net, and we've turned a three-dimensional shape into a two-dimensional shape. So if we look over here, these shapes are all rectangles. In this case, they're all squares. So watch what we can do. If the 4 millimeters on the bottom is there, and we're saying that this is a cube, so all these are the same, we can say that the base and the height are 4 millimeters. 4 times 4 gives me 16. And we can also say that this side's 4, this side's 4, these must be the same. Actually, every single one, since it was a cube, is going to measure the same thing. So all of those squares, because it's a cube, all of them are squares, all those squares are going to be 16 square millimeters. So how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Think of a die. You've unrolled the sides of a die. There's 6 of those. So 16 times 6. 6 and 6 is 36. Add them up, you get 96. I'm going to say surface area equals, let's put it over here where we can see it. Surface area equals 96 millimeters squared. It's still squared because we are, after all, talking about area. And let's go back visually one more time to our folding and unfolding so we can see the difference. Remember the box that's in the red, it's a three-dimensional shape. To the right where you see the yellow, that is a net. That is the unfolding of that 3D shape, making it a 2D shape. All right, let's do a couple more here. So some quick reminders here. Area is base times height for anything that's rectangular. This is a formula for surface area. but only for a cube, so that's less important. We'll get that out of the way here. Our little exponent floating away here. Okay, so here's your three-dimensional shape. I didn't label it. We've unfolded it so that it looks like this, and I'm labeling this over here. So what we want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we want to find the area of each one of these rectangular pieces. That's our goal. All right, so I'm going to start at the bottom. I have a base and I have a height, right? So 10 times 6, I know that is 60. Maybe I should write that so we can actually read it. All right, that's easy. And let's actually think about this for a second. If I folded this, if this is a box, it's unfolded, and I folded this up, this is the top of the box. This is the bottom of the box. Shouldn't those be the same? If this base down here is 10, well, this base is certainly also 10. And look, 6 times 10, there's my 60. So I've got the top and the bottom of the box taken care of. Let's do the left side and the right side, these little ear flaps over here. 4 centimeters is how much we could say the base is. This would also be 4. The height would be 6, because look, this one's 6. So this one must be 6. Base times height, 6 and 4 is 24. And if this left side of the box is 24, this right side of the box must be 24. Okay, so now all we have are these other two sides. So here's one of them. Here's another one. So if we take this one at the very top, it's 4. The height is 4. Well, what's the base? Well, if this was 10, and this is 10, guess what this is? Also 10. So 4 times 10 gives me 40 in this box. And then if you come down here, height is 4, base is 10, gets me 40 in this box. So I'm going to erase this 10 so we don't get confused. So how do we find the surface area of the whole thing? We've got to add these guys up. So let's use our brains here. Let's use our brains. 60 and 40 is an easy place to start because that gives me 100, right? So 60 and 40 gives me 100. 60 and 40 gives me another 100. Let's just change that to 2. That's easy. So we've done all that. 24 and 24 gets me 48. So a total here, I'm going to label that surface area, equals 248 square centimeters. 248 square centimeters. All right, let's try another one. Different shape this time. Here's your website that'll get you to this if you want it. Okay, that's at the bottom of your note page. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a triangular prism. You can think of this if you want, if this makes sense to you. This is a cube, or we call it a rectangular prism. A cube is like a 3D square. Okay? This is a rectangular prism. You can think of it as a 3D rectangle. Okay, so go down here. This is a triangular prism because you see both ends are triangles. Think of this as a 3-dimensional triangle. Okay, that's kind of how in my head I think of it. Kind of makes it fairly easy. Formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So this is going to be a little bit different, but really not that difficult. Let's leave the triangles till the end because we've been doing rectangles. So this side, I've got the base and the height. I've got 12 times 8. Let me get a color here. So 12 times 8 is 96. And remember, if you didn't know that, 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 10 is 80. 80 plus 16 gets me that 96. So if I know this side is 96, this opposite side needs to be the same, also 96. Why does it need to be the same? Height's 12 here, so height's 12 here. Base is 8 here, so base is 8 there. Okay, I'm going to get rid of those so we don't get them mixed up. So we've got those figured out. And then this middle one, what's the deal with this middle one? Well, the base is 8, and the height is the same as this height, so it's also 12. So 8 times 12 is 96. We got another 96. Okay. Nothing to it. So we got 3 of those. The only thing we have left are these little ear flaps that are triangles. So this is where our area of triangle comes in. So we go to our formula over here, and we've got a base of 8, a height of 6. Remember, we know the 6 is the height because it is perpendicular to the 8 to the base, creating a right angle. So we've got an 8 and a 6. So I'm going to substitute in here A equals 1/2. Base looks like 8. Height looks like 6. I'm going to cut the 8 in half because it's bigger. 4 times 6 is 24. Alright, so my triangle is 24, my triangle is 24, they are the same. So if you would please take a second and add all of our areas up. Hit pause and add the areas up. I'm going to do 96 times 3. Gives me 288. 24 times 2 I know is 48. I don't know why I'm writing 24. Add these guys. And I have a surface area here of 336 inches squared. So remember a couple things. You can go back and forth to this website as much as you need to. So let's click over to triangular prism and just see that opening up. So you see how the net of that is different. You have 2 triangles and 3 rectangles on a triangular prism. Check out the folds over here. So feel free to go to that site as much as you need to. And go back and forth. You can replay this as much as you need to. Go back, go rewind it, do what you need to do. And you have a back side of this page that looks very similar to this. So refer to this as your notes. The back side is your homework. That is your 3D net surface area video. Thank you.